Hello everybody, this is Courtney from Dandelion Branding and welcome to our channel, or welcome back if you have been here before. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I'm going to be talking about our method for website optimization today. This is a very exciting topic because this is very impactful and we see a lot of small and mid-sized businesses who kind of feel lost, want to improve their sales, but just aren't quite sure what to do and where the problem even is. So that's where we're going to start today, and I will give you some tips and tricks and talk a little bit about our method for optimizing sites that don't have a massive amount of traffic. So we like to look at optimization as a way to solve a problem. But first, before you can solve the problem, you need to pinpoint the problem. And Ob just made a blog article, so check that out on our site. I'll definitely put a link in the description box. And that goes over the best way to really kind of diagnose the problem if you're seeing traffic but low sales. So that means people are coming to your site, but they're maybe not interacting with your products. They're maybe not interacting and actually completing purchases. And so that blog article really kind of, it also has a map that kind of helps you to pinpoint exactly where you should be optimizing your site if you are experiencing these certain things. And so that's a very cool one. So definitely go check that out. I'll maybe insert an image of the map. But yeah, so essentially that process of really trying to pinpoint where users are getting stuck is going to be the first step in order to optimize. That roadblock where that's stopping folks from browsing your products, adding them to cart, and completing checkout. That's the issue, right? That's the bottleneck. That's the concern at the present moment, right? So later on, the issue may shift and change, and that's completely normal, but one step at a time. So once you've gotten that diagnosed, let's say folks are coming to your site and they are browsing through your products, but they're just not adding things to cart. Okay, we deduce that that means that there's something going on with your product pages. There's something that's either not inviting enough, not descriptive enough, or things are unclear. Maybe the button isn't compelling. Maybe the button is getting lost amongst the details. The variables are really kind of endless in terms of what could be wrong. But essentially, if we see that the problem is on a product page, then our first step is really working on improving the clarity and adding more details about the product. So that means perhaps adding a story, perhaps putting something that is from the user's perspective about how they would incorporate this product into their life, the benefits that they would see by incorporating this product into their life. There's a lot of things that you can add there onto those product pages to make them more enticing and to make sure people are adding to cart. So if that's the step that you need to optimize, then that's where we would typically recommend is by adding, working on clarity and working on some details. When you don't have a massive amount of traffic onto your site, testing different things can be a little bit more challenging. You might hear that you should be doing A/B testing or split testing, which is an awesome way of pinpointing exactly the things that you should be changing and really getting highly detailed information as to what works and what doesn't, because you're comparing two different designs or two different layouts or two different messages, calls to action, whatever it may be. And so that is great, but the information there is really based on statistics. So it actually matters that you have a large amount of website traffic, and that's typically in the like 15,000 user range before you can say with statistical significance that a change that you made will increase conversion. So typically we don't work with brands that are seeing that much traffic, not yet at least, but we'll get there. But our goal is to really help folks who are seeing less traffic and just need to optimize in other ways. So we use heat maps. We specifically use a program called Hotjar, which is awesome. I'll definitely put a link to that in the description below. We have a little referral, so definitely check that out. This is a free program. It does have the ability to pay for more, so you can have a little bit more flexibility and can be collecting more heat maps. But this program is so incredible because it collects information about how far down the page people are scrolling. It also collects where folks are clicking, and it collects where people are moving on the page. So if you're wanting people to, take a particular action and your heat map results are showing that they're not even scrolling to where that action is communicated, you can deduce that you need to move that information higher up on the page. And so it gives some really, really cool qualitative data that I think can help small businesses really, really significantly. And this is something that we use all the time for ourselves and for pretty much all of our clients in order to constantly be making improvements. So as I said earlier, let's say your product page is where folks are getting hung up right now. Okay, so you've taken a look at your page, taken a step back, maybe removed your business owner hat for a moment and are trying to come from the user's perspective. And you've worked on the adding clarity, adding details. Awesome. So let's go ahead and add a heat map onto that particular page. And then you can start collecting data. So you've made those changes, you're watching your sales, you're continuing to watch your traffic, but now you're armed with this other information. You're seeing where people are actually clicking, and you're seeing where people are no longer browsing on the page. And so that information allows for you to kind of say, okay, I want to make additional changes. Or if all of a sudden you're seeing that people are now adding products to cart, and then that's fantastic. Then sweet. Okay, time to celebrate. You successfully optimized that page for that one goal where you wanted to increase the rate that users were adding things to cart. So this might unfold a new roadblock. Now you have information. So now you can take a look at, okay, folks are adding things to cart, but they're still not checking out. Okay, well, what do you have within your control on the cart page? Or what is the checkout process? Are there things that are getting in their way? Are folks browsing now to additional products? Or is it challenging to, once you've added something to your cart, to go back and browse through more products? So these are things that you kind of want to look for when you want to continue to optimize your site. After that initial kind of clarity and detail push onto your pages, you want to make smaller adjustments so you can have more concrete information as to what made a difference. this can definitely be a pain point for folks who are trying to collect data, and let's say the first time around on that product page, the changes that they made didn't make a significant difference for folks adding the product to cart. So they're stuck with, okay, so that didn't work. What now? Then from there, I would just try out smaller changes, like perhaps the product photos. Perhaps those can be better optimized, maybe adding scale, adding a lifestyle photo, adding things in use. Maybe you can try adding customer reviews if you don't have any yet. Maybe you can trade product for a review and you can highlight that on your product page. Maybe you can test out a different call to action on your button, or a different color of your button, different placement of the various details about the products, but do that one at a time. I know that this does take time, which is hard to sit through when you're wanting to just make all the changes and hope for the best, but this is going to help you to pinpoint exactly what worked so that you can then take that information and use it and implement it throughout the entirety of your site. It's essentially a never-ending process of taking a look at your pages, seeing how they're working for you, seeing if folks are taking the intended action, and then making a small adjustment, and then watching those heat maps again, watching their results again, and so on. And then it continues. And yeah, so it can be a really fun process of it's sort of a treasure hunt a little bit, if you think of it that way, where you're trying to find the bit of information that is the key to unlocking the potential of your brand and your audience. That's what I really wanted to focus on today, just to once again talk about how awesome Hotjar is, first of all, but then also give a little bit of background in terms of just, demystifying this process of optimization. It's really not as technical as folks might make it seem. It really just takes sitting with the information and making logical decisions based on the information that you're given to help customers move through the steps of placing an order. And some of those things might not be website optimizations. Some of it might be optimizing your abandoned cart email series and making that more enticing, talking about your products in a different way. It might be trying out free shipping offers, depending on where folks are getting stuck. Again, if it's not on the product page, people are adding things to their cart, but they're not checking out, then it's something in between. It's something like shipping is too expensive. It's something like they don't know if they can trust your brand with their credit card information. It might be that they're just kind of not feeling all the way ready to make that purchase. And that's where those abandoned cart emails can really help to make or break that decision. Watching how users are flowing through your pages is very, very helpful. That information can come from Google Analytics. You could also just look at the volume of users that hit certain pages. So how many people got to your product pages versus how many people got to the cart page or the checkout page, and looking at those percentages, that can help to give you what your certain conversion rates are. I hope that this information was helpful and allowed and kind of, once again, sort of demystified this process of optimization and made it a lot less scary for you. Definitely check out Hotjar. It's going to be incredibly helpful for you, and it doesn't collect any like personal data of anything about your users. It is a completely safe way of just watching how folks move around the site, like generally. So it is, it's a really, really cool platform. Highly recommend it. So happy optimizing, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.